Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on a school bus driver that I had in middle school. And she was honestly like the worst school bus driver that you can possibly have. I'm currently setting up this video game called Gran Turismo. Do they have all my stuff set up? They have all my stuff set up. Okay, cool. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll figure it out once I'm streaming and stuff, because I'm gonna stream here in a moment. But anyways, but no, yeah, I wanted to overall talk on this school bus driver that was honestly the worst. Like, that was a school, and I only had her like throughout middle school and stuff, but I did see, because she also was a school bus driver for my high school. But I'm like, no, I ain't even fooling with you. I'm like, my house is just down the street. I'm just gonna walk. Or just, then with my friends, when they got their license, I'm like, I'm just going to catch a ride from them. But I'm like, I am not getting on no more buses with you, all right? I'm telling you, like, all aspects. I got classroom stories. I got lunchroom stories. I got school bus stories. I got before school stories, after school stories, graduation. I'm telling you, I got stories upon stories when it comes to school, because school was crazy, okay? It was wild. But anyways, in today's episode, yeah, talking on this bus driver. So, yeah, I remember seeing her, because I didn't catch the bus when I went to this elementary school in the area where I lived at, because my house is just, all the schools I went to were just down the street and stuff, so it was like, there wasn't too far away. I can either, in middle school I did have to catch the bus because it was a little bit far out and stuff, but it was like, I do remember like taking shortcuts. I think it was like my 6th grade year, and I was like, it was a distance, but I'm like, when you're walking home with friends, I'm telling you, like, walking home with friends, your house may be as far as it possibly can be, but if you and all your friends is going in the same direction, it's not going to be that far. So anyways, but no, so I remember this bus driver where she had an issue with me. Like, I never seen her go off on anybody else, but it was always like something with me. I remember one of the first few times we had an interaction, it was because I was laughing too loud on the bus. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry that I found my friends funny. I'm not gonna do no quiet laugh. And then they looking at me all like, why are you laughing like that? I got a loud laugh. I'm like, I'm sorry. It happens to be because, for one, I'm African American. Most African American people, we got loud laughs. I can't help it. All right, I'm like, it's just my roots. It's just who I am. But no, I remember. I think it was because like me, and I'm like, my thing is this. Most times when you hear laughter, you tend to like laugh with it. I don't care where I am at. If I see somebody laughing, it's most likely going to cause me to laugh. That's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, especially if they got a good laugh. I've been told I got a good laugh. I don't know how and why, but I'm like, I've been told that. So she had a problem with me laughing, and I'm like, okay, sorry, I guess. I'm like, I don't know how that really hurts you. Instead, it's like, oh, did it make you mess up being a school bus driver? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was messing your... I'm telling you, man, I was like, that bus driver was like, she was on some weird stuff. But then, I'm trying to think I think then the next thing that had happened, because there might have been some other times I feel like we had more than just like these two confrontations, but I just remember she was like getting on me about laughing. But then the other memorable confrontation was when, so they issued out this letter to like kids and to like, and I'm like, how do you know where I guess, all right, you know what, never mind. Well, for the bus driver, I would imagine the bus drivers won't know where I live. They just know like I get off on a particular stop. They don't know where my house is at. I'm like, so how do you even know of that information? How do you know where I'm at and things? So, but anyways, so they had gave out this letter to kids talking about if you're in the walking distance of your house, then you have to walk home, but you can't catch the bus. And I'm like, my thing is this: if I'm catching a bus, that obviously means the bus takes me a lot closer to my house. I guess like probably it. So all right, so in the amount of time where the bus driver, because I think I was like one of the last. Like, well, I might not. I don't think I was the last stop. But anyways, I'm like from where I walked from the bus stop to my house, and then I had to say from where I walked to the school. Actually, you know what? No, I think walking from the bus stop to my house, I probably would get to my house in like the same amount of time. But I know I would get there a little, like a tad bit faster if I catch the bus. You know, so I'm like, I probably would get home maybe like 10, 15 minutes later if I walked. But I'm like, I'm not trying to do that. Plus, in the area, I should overall, well, no, I really don't want nobody, like, knowing areas and stuff, because, yeah, it's like, you got your weirdos out there, but where, I guess where the school was at, it was, like, the school was, it was on, like, a road where, like, cars would, pretty much, like, the area where I would walk at, it's, like, cars would be passing by and they would hit a turn, and I just know for a fact, I'm like, I probably would be that one kid where a car loses control hitting the turn, they done hit me, and now they got me on the Channel 7 news talking about breaking news, middle schooler hit by a drunk driver, now he's in the hospital fighting for his life, because yeah, it's like, oh, they said the school determined that he was in the walking distance, so he had to stop himself. And I mean, but the thing was, just like in the where the bus stop was at, it was also like, it wasn't a busy road, but like cars were driving straight. It wasn't like all these turns and corners and stuff from where like the school was at, from where the bus stop was at. So that's why I was like, I prefer catching the bus, because I was like, for one, it's safer, and second, I'm like, you know, it gets me a little bit faster to my house and things. I'm like, I don't see it as being a problem. Plus on top of that, the amount of kids that would catch the bus, it wasn't like it was overflowing with kids and stuff. Like 2 kids would be able to sit in like each seat and things. So that's why I was like, fam, like I don't see what the issue is. It's not like there's too many kids on the bus or whatever. But anyways, so they issued out that letter, said that, you know, like, oh, from this day forward, it's like any kid that lives in a walking distance, you have to, you know, walk and stuff. So I guess I was in that, I don't know how the school bus driver, how she knew, but I guess I was in that distance. So then I remember she was like, so I think it was when I was getting on the bus, she was all like, aren't you in the walking distance? I'm like, maybe, but I'm like, no, I don't want to walk home. I'm like, I want to catch the bus and then walk home and stuff. It's like, it's not that far out and stuff. So I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing that. Because I'm trying to, it's definitely a lot quicker and stuff versus like going. Because I'm like, they've done like some sort of like construction and things. So I guess like if I were to, if this were to happen now, I guess it would be a little bit easier and stuff to walk home and things. But other than that, I'm like, nah, man. It's like they didn't have like, you know, the things that they had now. They didn't have like the shortcuts and all that stuff. I'm like, it was just one long road all the way. I'm like, I ain't doing that. That's doing too much. All right. So anyway, then I had to like walk up this hill, and I'm like, nah, because if it's raining, snowing outside, and I gotta walk up this hill versus just walking down the street, I'm like, I don't mind slipping and falling on the street, but if I slip and fall like all the way up at a hill and I didn't slid down, I'm like, nah, man, I'm mad. Okay, I'm gonna be mad at that point. So anyways, she was all like, then she goes on to say, well, I'm not leaving until you get off the bus. I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna be sitting at this school parking lot for a while, because I'm not getting off this bus. So anyways, I'm telling you, man, I was such a rebel when I was a kid, but because I think now I just be all like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. Like, I got food to be eating and YouTube videos to be watching. You want to sit here and be a petty bus driver? I'll roast the bus driver before I get off there. I think now I probably would have roasted her and then just every day just gave her a hard time. But I'm like, back then I was like, nah, I'm like, I ain't leaving. I'm like, you know, Rosa Parks ain't leave off the bus, so why I gotta leave off the bus? I'm like, you think it'd be in this day and age, black people still still got to get up off buses, and I'm like, man, I don't think that was her case, though. I think she was, she was just trying to give people a hard time and things. I think it was me, but I don't think it was like racially motivated and stuff. She didn't come off as a racist. She seemed like she was that type where she probably dated a black guy at some point in time, but she 100% looked like she had black friends. She was a little quiet, so I'm like, she might have, like, she grew up in around black people, either had a black boyfriend or she has black friends, one of those things. But anyways, so it's like me and everybody on the bus, we all sitting there waiting. We were literally the last bus to leave the parking lot. The last bus, bruh. Like, all the other buses were gone. We all just still sitting there and things. And then, like, people was, cause I was cool with just about everybody on the bus. I had to say there was probably, like, maybe a few quiet kids that I didn't really talk to, but they didn't really talk to anybody else. Either, and they didn't come off as like the, kids that was gonna be confront people. Like I said, they were quiet kids and stuff. But pretty much like me and all the other loud kids, like, I was like the king of that bus. Like, I was, like I said, I was chill. There's at least, like, I think as the time progressed on, I remember there was like a few times I remember I would have like kids, like the whole bus like cracking up laughing and stuff. I remember there was a day where we seen this old lady driving. It looked like one of them like Honda Civic type cars, like one of them like early 2000 like Honda Civic type cars, or like a Toyota or something. But there was this white car, and it had one spinner on one wheel, And I remember I looked, and I was all like, "Hey, yo, look at this old lady with the spinner thing. She really thinks she a pimp with that." Bus just started dying, bro. Like the whole bus. I wasn't even paying attention to the bus driver, but no, the bus was dying, alright? So anyways, but no, I'm saying, like, that's how cool I was when it came to, like, the bus and things. Like, I made my mark in territory on that bus. So anyways, but yeah, so back on, the whole, we ain't going nowhere until you get off the bus. So eventually she started, driving off and things. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's not going to work. I'm like, you trying to kick a kid off the bus and things. The principal and nobody else wasn't, cause I think it had been one thing if the principal or the assistant principal would have came and been all like, oh, you gotta get off the bus. Then I'm like, all right, I probably would have. But I definitely, regardless how that whole situation ended, it would have still remained the same, alright? So anyway, she gets to my bus stop. I'm walking off the bus, and she was like, don't get back on this bus tomorrow. I'm like, alright, no, it's cool. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I think this will all be handled when I talk to a parent. I went home, and the one parent where I'm like, you don't want to get in no phone conversation with them. My dad, my father, the thing is this, I'm like, when my dad gets to a point where he's angry and he's on the phone, he gonna be going off on some people, alright? So anyways, so we're going and, so I was like, thought I had seen something real quick, but anyways, so so I go home, he's home. I told him, I was all like, hey, they, said I'm not allowed to, I was like, I didn't do anything bad, I didn't do anything crazy. They said because I'm in this walking distance that I no longer can catch the bus. Oh, sent my dad over the edge. He called up the school, went off on everybody. Pretty much long story short, I was right back on that bus. And yeah, she was giving me a dirty look and everything. I just smiled and walked to my seat and things and was all like, yeah, I'm like, if you honestly really thought that was going to be the last of it, it was like, nah, I'm sorry. But I'm like, I'm not going to stop riding this bus until it's the last day of my 8th grade year. And so on, alright? So I'm sorry if you thought things was gonna happen in your favor, but it's not. So, anyways. But then, no, there is, besides that, then there was times where she would show up late, or she wouldn't show up at all. Like, I remember there was a few occasions where she showed up late, and, and then we would show up to school late. But it was chill, though, because the school was like, oh, okay, if that's the case, then, yeah, it's like, we'll write it off as like what was it? Like a excuse tardy or something like that. So there was like, they will excuse you for being late if it's your bus. But there's like any other situation, it'll be like an unexcused tardy and stuff. So yeah, I remember, somewhat of my school lingo. It took me a while, but I remember. But anyways, so yeah, but there was at times where she would show up late. Then there was one time where she didn't even show up at all. So we're outside in the cold waiting for her to show up, and I'm like, bruh, I'm really about to. I'm like, I don't even know where it exactly my school is at from where the like, but it made, I don't even know how I didn't know, because I'm like, I took that same road every day. So I'm like, I was looking back and forth at roads all like, I'm like, how can I get to my school from here? I'm like, do I take this road? I'm like, I was bad when it came to directions and stuff. I'm all like, usually when I'm in cars, buses, or whatever, I'm all like, I allow them to, you know, be my directions. But I'm like, I'm in my own little world when I'm in a car. Now, like, I pay attention. But back then, I'm like, no. I'm like, I ain't doing all that. So, but anyways, so yeah, there was a day where she didn't even show up. We're outside waiting in the cold. And then eventually another bus driver, I guess she also, was she late or was she on time? No, she was on time, because no, we got to school on time and things. So yeah, she just did, or actually, you know what? No, so we were late. Because so the bus driver that picked us up, she was on time, but she had to circle back to pick us up and then pick up some other kids. So I'm telling you, that bus was it was like, I'm trying to think, it was like 4 kids on like each seat, bro. Like it was, I remember, because I was like, we were like one of the last few like stops and things. So to kids to pick up. So I think it was like maybe a few other kids for like one, you know, like, or it was like for the next stop, it was like a few other kids, but like our bus stop, it was a lot of kids that get on the bus and things. So anyways, yeah, I remember it was like 4 people each seat. I'm sitting on half of my butt on one on the edge of the seat, and then the other half just flowing freely in the middle of the school. I'm like, or in the school bus and stuff, and I'm like, bro, I can't. I'm like my leg is hurting. I'm like, that is just too much pressure. Kids is like looking and laughing. I'm like, I don't think you understand. I am in pain right now. I'm like, hey, we're gonna have to switch seats. I'm like, no, we're gonna have to like take turns on this, because I'm like, but no, anyways, but no, the school bus driver. I'm like, how is it that you got one job? That's just to pick up kids, take them to a school. If you can't do that, fam, why are you a bus driver? I don't think she's a bus driver now, because I still remember the school bus number, or the school bus number on the like side, and it was 146. And I think when I looked, either that woman got extremely old. I mean, I guess, like, yeah, because it has been a little over 10 years and stuff. So, but I'm like, nah, I don't know. I had to, if I ever do see that bus again, I'm like, I might have to take like a good look. And I'm like, either she switched buses or she became Tweety Bird's grandmother and stuff. But anyways, nah, man, that school bus driver, I was just overall glad when it came to high school. I'm like, I'm just walking. I'm like, I don't care, because I'm like, I think, yeah, I was like, you know what, if I gotta go up a hill, I gotta go up a hill and stuff. So, but if it was like snowing and things. But anyways, yeah, you know, that was my little adventurous story time with this school bus driver. Pretty much, long story short, you got a crazy bus driver, you know, just walk home. All right. So, but anyways, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Reviewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if reviewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 43 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you are purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.